The only one who gets to decide if I'm through is me.
You may not be done, but everyone's exhausted.
This is the scene where Diana has made a number of attempts at this swim from Cuba to Florida, which is her lifelong dream.
Right, you majorly offended Bartlett, and Nico's got to get back to work. He's got a new gig repairing ACs.
Nico says it's the adventure of his lifetime.
She is refusing to give up. She enlisted her best friend Bonnie to be her coach and her partner, and they have failed numerous times because of all kinds of obstacles. And so at this point, it's rational to stop. I mean, Diana is 60-something. She's not able to do it, and she's exhausted not only Bonnie, but the entire team.
You really don't get it, do you? What this is like for us? We're broke. The time, the emotional toll, I mean, it's been years, Diana.
Well, suck it up. We're a team, right?
Wow. Your superiority complex is really screwed up.
Where it takes place in the story is this critical moment where she needs Bonnie to do it with her, and Bonnie's saying no.
Everyone should have a superiority complex. Everyone should feel like the star of their own life.
Yeah, exactly. My life. My life. And I got things that I want to do.
Yeah? Like what?
I don't know. I mean, that's the crazy part. I don't even know. What do I want? You know, what do I want to do? But guess what? I get to decide, not you.
I just think that you need to make peace with the possibility of my death.
What does that mean?
I would do it for you if it made you happy.
Oh, would you? Would you do that?
And some of the things that she touches on, that Diana touches on, her father, for instance. Her father was a monster.
Imagine knowing in your bones that you could do something that only you could do, like fate.
Enough with the fate, Diana.
Nyad.
I know what your name means.
My father.
He was an asshole.
Yes, he was an asshole, but he understood my destiny.
He was manic. He was a dreamer. He ended up being a lot of things that she didn't even know at the time when she was a kid. But he did inspire her to do it.
This isn't about you or your destiny. This is about me, okay? For once, this is about me.
She's bumping up against this part of herself where giving up is just impossible and everyone around her is exhausted.
You don't even think of me. You just want me to like tag along with you, like.
No, of course I think about you. I know what you're capable of better than you do.
Listen to yourself. That is so patronizing.
Jody, as Bonnie, is coming up into how she has just given so much of herself to Diana. She has given up her profession. She's given up so much of her personal life and just dedicated herself to Diana for years. And she's feeling used.
Look, I know that the world wants me to shut my mouth and sit down and wait to die, but I didn't think you did.
Stop.
I can't. I won't. I will not accept defeat. Are you with me?
No.
We worked a lot on the script, the development of the dialogue, touching on the moments about her dad, who is a pivotal figure in her life. And he was very complicated. He was abusive, and he was also a big dreamer. He played a critical role in her life, but he was also incredibly difficult for her to deal with. This scene really touches on this very painful paradox of the role that her father played in her life. I spent a lot of time with Diana sorting out, as best I could, her inner life. I love her. I think she's an amazing person, and she's got a lot behind her eyes. That's what I saw when I met her. She has a very rich inner life. I spent a lot of time with her. She was very trusting of me. I really appreciated that. And I really dedicated myself, like we always do as actors, just to try to get all of that out on the screen at some point. And Jody did the same thing with Bonnie. And the four of us also spent a lot of time together. Jody and I spent a lot of time studying the dynamic that goes on between Diana and Bonnie. And sometimes it's very intense. It's like a marriage. They're not married. They dated years ago. They are soulmates and best friends. And the nuances of their relationship are fascinating. So we really studied them as best we could and as careful as we could to try to tease out this really specific dynamic that they've got going together. It's one of the great challenges of the movie, and one of the great pleasures of the movie was to try to dramatize this very rich, nuanced relationship between these two very strong and complicated women. Working with Jimmy and Chai on these kinds of more emotional scenes versus the physical stuff and all the swimming and the boat stuff was really a joy. They both had great suggestions, ideas. Jimmy had always had a very intuitive sense of emotional truth. And that's what we need as actors. And Chai also they're different, but they each had their own very strong commitment to each scene and to each moment. I also depended a lot on Jodie, because I knew as my partner that she would be there for me, and she was, and I was there for her. And a lot of working on a scene like this is obviously not acting, but listening and responding to what you see in the other person's eyes. That's the real joy. That's really the essence of trying to get at scenes like this is listening, responding, and trying to find something that surprises you, surprises yourself, surprises your partner. This is the moment in the story. Diana's been swimming for about 40 hours. Marathon swimmers take breaks every hour and a half or so. No one's allowed to touch them, but they're allowed to take in water and whatever food they can get in. At this point, she's been up for almost 40 hours.
Come up.
At this point, marathon swimmers are hallucinating. They're not in touch with reality. They begin to really space out. And Diana knows this, and that's why she's got Bonnie there with her, because she knows that at some point she's going to just completely fall apart. And that the only way that she's going to be able to keep going is with Bonnie there with her.
You're never going to put that mask on again. Goggles. All right.
The other thing I see when I see this scene is I see all the other elements that kind of enhance it, including Claudio Miranda's light, the cinematographer, and the prosthetics that we've got going at that point. We had a whole series of prosthetics that showed the gradations of the breakdown of Diana's face in the water.
Diana, look at me. I need you to look at me.
No,
Look at me.
it's over.
No.
No, did we drift?
No.
I can make it up.
No.
Honey.
It's a very kind of gentle, quiet moment, because what she's seeing is the lights of Key West.
I'm not getting out.
Diana, stop.
I can
Look over there.
make it up.
Look over
honey.
there. You see
I'm
that?
Not getting out of.
You see that? The horizon? Look at the horizon. You see it?
Is it the sun?
No. That's not the sun, babe. Those are the lights of Key West. Diana, what I'm telling you is, it's not going to be another night. Just one big push. If you can really bring it, if you can really, really bring it, then you're going to reach Florida today. But there's still a long way to go. All right, at least 12 more hours. Babe, you need to dig deep. You can dig deep. All right?
We worked really hard on it. We thought a lot about how do we get to this moment.
Get some of this into you. You're doing great. You're doing great.
Everyone was exhausted. So this is really the last push of the last swim. And everybody knew that beyond this, they weren't going to be able to keep going. Bonnie, at one point, completely quits. And she just says, I can't do this anymore. I can't work with you anymore, Diana. Diana kept failing. It was costing them money. It was costing them their livelihood.
Diana, try to stay in closer to the line of the boat.
I loved the script so much when I read it. The story was so moving to me and so inspiring that I just knew immediately I wanted to do it. But then I had to figure out, well, how am I going to get myself to that place where I could be believable as this marathon swimmer? When I was training, I started working with Rada Owen, who is an Olympic swimmer. She was in the Sydney Olympics, and she really helped me believe that I could do it. We worked for about a year, and that was a joy. I mean, I think a great challenge is something that most of us really kind of want in life, and we don't stop wanting that just because we get older. So for me, it became a personal challenge as well as a professional one that I really enjoyed and thrived on. I still swim. I love it. It's the best. And the chance to play this swimmer kind of opened up this new personal joy for me, which is the joy of being in the water and swimming all the time. We had an underwater camera, beautiful underwater camera operator named Pete Zuccarini, and he was in the water with me most of the time, and he would be swimming and shooting with me simultaneously. You know, it was a physically demanding and beautiful effort on everybody's part, and I'm so grateful to Jodie. Her sense of emotional truth and her commitment to the project was 100%. She had a lot of the great ideas for the movie, including the idea that Bonnie would actually jump in the water and try to swim beside Diana, which in real life Bonnie never did. But Jodie's idea was to make that happen because it would be such a powerful moment in the narrative.
I love you. I love you too. Come on, one more stroke, babe.
I have to say, I think it works pretty great.
Just one more. You got it. That's it. That's the power.